This is part 3 of my series where I'm showing what I do to my hair about every 3 months. And what I'm really going for is for my hair to look healthy, bouncy, have lots of chunky layers, and then something that frames the face and I can throw it up in a ponytail and have some framing pieces. Here we go. So in part 1, I bleached it with kind of a balayage technique. Part 2, I toned my hair, and then now it's time to give it a cut. And honestly, I don't know if this is a controversial order or not, but this is what I found has worked best, is to cut last, so that way I can remove any damage that I just caused, and then also I can blend together the balayage even more through a cut. What I use to do a haircut is really simple, just a pair of hair cutting scissors, a hairbrush, and a trash can. And if you see me leaning over a lot in this video, that's because I lean over a trash can to try to catch as much of the fallen hair as possible. To start off, I'm gonna pull half of my hair to one side of my shoulder and the other half to the other and get it really well brushed out. I'm going to use my hand to pull my hair down as flat as possible, and then I can lift up that end of hair that's between my fingers and cut across to remove off some length and some dead ends. I'm gonna do the same on the other side and just try to match about how much I cut off, but not worry too much about how it's gonna be even, because then I pull it all to the front together and make sure that it is even in the front. Then I'm going to pick up the next section, leaving probably about the bottom fourth of my hair, and I'm gonna start angling down with how I cut and just cut sections downwards to take off a little bit more length. I like a lot of layers. I'm gonna then grab the next section up and do the same, but go a little bit higher. And so I'll start cutting those angles down, but even a little bit higher. Then I'm going to grab the top section, and for this section, I'm going to cut those angles down, but even higher. And then I do want to frame around the face. So I'm going to pick up those pieces around my face and do some angled cuts there. And then I'm going to grab, honestly, kind of random chunks and just keep angling and cutting. So that way I have lots of fun layers to work with. And there's like kind of an art to it more than a science in the way that I do this. I just am grabbing chunks across the top section of my head and then cutting with an angle down with the scissors. And then this is what's gonna give me lots of movement in my hair and lots of bounce and, again, layers. On the other side of my head, it's really a very similar process. The main difference is I'm working with my non-dominant hand. So I have to work in reverse, and I have a little trick to do this. I pull the hair down between my fingers so it's flat like I did with the other side. But before I grab the scissors, I'm going to flip it. And then that way, now I can use the scissors with my dominant hand and cut the direction that I did on the other side, but it's going the right direction. I hope that made sense. So I'm gonna do the same thing where I pull up the next section, do the angle cuts a little bit higher, and then we're going to add those face framing pieces by grabbing the hair and making some angled cuts. And then I'm just gonna kind of check and make sure that everything seems a little bit even and smooth. I want a few more chunky layers on the top on this side, so I'm gonna add those in now through a similar process. And then checking for a ponytail. Okay, I have some face framing pieces. I like the way that came out, so I'm gonna not mess with that any further. And I'm looking in the back of the mirror now. I do see we come down to a little bit of a point in the back. So I have a trick for this too. I grab my hair as a ponytail and then I pull, and then that leaves what's left. I'm gonna pull that around to the front and cut it flat. All right, I am all done and it's now styled so it's smooth and I love the way it came out. It's what I was hoping for, bouncy, there's lots of layers, lots of movement, and I think it helped to kind of even out that balayage as well, which that's one of the main reasons that I do the balayage and bleaching and toning and all of that first, and then I end with a cut because I just feel like it brings everything kind of together. So we are all done, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this helps.